Welcome to the Coaching Corner. This is where I give you a glimpse into my brain so you can see how the skills I teach work in everyday life. Today, I want to talk about something that's not specific to nuanced members. It's something that happens to all of us, but I think it deserves a moment in the spotlight regardless, or perhaps because of that. What do you do when you get discouraged, but you don't know why? Even the best of us have days where life just feels hard for seemingly no reason at all. It happened to me recently. I noticed that my brain was in a bit of a funk. I know that I'm prone to depression. I actually use medication for it every day. But between hormones and a brain that's already prone to being depressed, I expect that every few weeks I'm just going to have hard days. When these come up, it doesn't matter how brightly the sun is shining, how sweet my kids are, or how much I'm reading or not reading the news. My brain just kind of settles into a low, and I've come to expect that. How I respond to those days has changed pretty drastically over time, though, and I wanted to share some thoughts on that. If you notice the same thing happening in your life, the first thing I encourage you to do is notice what your self talk looks like. In particular, notice that it has multiple layers. The loudest, most obvious layer is the one that's telling you to give up. Mine likes to tell me that the world is hopeless and I'm never going to make a difference in the many problems plaguing us. Whether that be my kids' eating habits or ocean pollution, whatever it is, it's all fair game, right? My brain is just looking for ammo and it will use anything it can find. Like I said, this layer is loud. It's by far the easiest to hear. Next, I want you to notice the self-talk that's going on underneath that layer. This is a quieter voice. It's not going to grab your attention as much, and so you might have to search for it. But it's the voice that's responding to the first, louder voice. Notice what it says. For me, this was the voice that was pushing back. It didn't want to believe in a hopeless world. I still don't want to, for the record. But it pushed back from a place of fear. Fear that the first voice was right. Fear that it was speaking the truth. And so it berated me for listening to it. It told me that I was a failure for not picking myself up and exercising until the depression went away. It told me I was weak and lazy, and that's why all these issues perpetuated. It didn't want to accept that the world was what I was making it out to be, so it turned me into the problem. Over the years, I've worked on training that second voice. I don't think hating myself is ever going to be part of the solution, and so I've tried the opposite, teaching this voice to come from a place of love. Oddly enough, that actually felt kind of scary, because I genuinely want to be a force for good in the world, and that voice had done its job for so long, it tried to tell me that if I loved myself, I would settle. If I loved myself as I am right now, I wasn't going to feel motivated to change anything. It told me that I needed it to yell at me so that I would move. Loving yourself doesn't mean assuming you are perfect. When we train that second voice to come from love, it says things like, "You're doing great. I know this feels hard. Keep going." It says, "Hey, I noticed a way we can try it differently next time. I think that will get us a bit closer to our goal." It doesn't have to tell you to stop trying, and it doesn't have to tell you that you're worthless until you get life right. There's no such thing as getting life right. We're all going to goof up sometimes, and we can love ourselves through those moments. When I noticed one of my bad days creeping in this week, it was interesting to note how my self-talk has changed. I still have that first layer telling me all the reasons to give up hope. But now the voice underneath says things like, "It makes sense that you would think that, given the news. It makes sense that you would think that because depression is a problem for you." It's learned to say, "It's normal for everyone to feel sad sometimes. It's okay if you need to take a rest day because resting helps you bounce back faster." Do you see the difference? Before, the second voice was turning me into the problem. It's really hard to succeed at your goals when you think you are the problem. Trust me, I've tried. But when I consciously trained that voice to come from love, it helped me become part of the solution. It helped me recognize what I needed on those bad days. It recognized those days for what they were. They were hard, but not because of who I am at my core. Who I am at my core will always be an asset. It just takes conscious practice to tune in with that and to learn to ignore all the other falsehoods that my brain and your brain have been trained to feed us. What would your bad days look like if you owned them? If you loved yourself enough to let the bad days come? Owning them means letting yourself feel the pain that they bring and then letting your core goodness initiate the healing from that pain. It's gotten easier over the years, and I will always put in a plug for professional help. This was a crucial part of the process for me. But it's gotten easier over the years when I see those bad days coming in to sit them down with a cup of tea and tell them they're welcome if they need a place to settle, and trust that they are not the definition of who I am. I know now that they're going to move on when they're ready, and I know that I am a worthy, perfectly lovable person no matter how long that takes. Is your relationship with church strained? Do you want to learn how to make peace with church without sacrificing your personal values? Head to my website and sign up as a beta user in my coaching program, Spiritual Sovereignty, Claiming Your Place in Spiritual Spaces. Beta users get access to my complete program at a highly discounted rate in exchange for feedback to improve the course for future users. Peace with church is possible, and I can show you how to find it. Spots are limited, so sign up while they're available.